And hello from Los Angeles. It's your reality check. Well, I'm skeptical about this first story and most of all simply hope it cannot be true. But an old force is now presumed by both CBS News and the Wall Street Journal to be seeking the White House bid for 2012. And it's none other than former Vice President Dick Cheney. The 71-year-old Dick, with 4 open-heart surgeries, a revved-up pacemaker, and a well-oiled shotgun, could be the next Gipper, surpassing even the grizzled Ronald Reagan, who soiled the Oval Office well into his wobbly 80s. But so grotesque is this nightmarish possibility that a company called Pro-GOP Gear is selling what they're calling their Dick Cheney for President Infant Creeper. Quote, babies love creeping and crawling and sleeping. So our 3-snap bottom helps ease those nasty diaper changes. But if this is supposed to be a selling point for GOP Palin-type voters, well, I guess it makes sense. Meanwhile, Karl Rove, endlessly splattered across Fox News these days, is now the subject of a soon-to-be-released documentary called Karl Rove, I Love You, starring Dan Butler, best known as Bulldog on TV's Frasier. The openly gay actor says trying to play Karl Rove was nothing less than a mental shipwreck.
Here is this guy I'm diametrically opposed to politically. I really feel he has no moral boundaries. He knows what he wants and he goes after it no matter what he has to do. However, if I were at a party, there's no one I'd rather sit beside.
Anyone ever told you that before? Oh, I wish I had those eyes. When they look, they see the future. When I look, all I see is you. Karl Rove, I love you.
You know,
I love you.
I almost have to vomit. As a gay guy myself, finding Karl Rove hot only makes me want to go screaming back into the closet. And speaking of creepy, the Massachusetts government's website lists a new law passed by the state Senate calling for mandatory vaccinations of all citizens and a $1,000 a day fine for those refusing to cooperate. Called the Pandemic Response Bill 2028. You're going to want to check this out yourself, as it's still awaiting the governor's signature. It also calls for involuntary transportation of people into quarantine camps. It legalizes healthcare interrogations of citizens, permits forced entry into homes without a warrant, the on-site destruction of buildings or objects suspected of harboring the virus, and get this, the government kidnapping of family pets. No kidding. Meanwhile, the normally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Glenn Beck-loving Fox News is reporting that 67% of the public is afraid of the vaccine itself, while most of the public remains, of course, afraid of Fox. But when it gets down to actual public health care, Hollywood's make-believe doctors have now been enlisted to try to bang some sense into Congress and our on-again, off-again president. MASH's Mike Farrell, returning from Capitol Hill, tells us he discovered health care is really insurance care, and that Congress is completely awash in pharmaceutical cash and prizes.
The insurance industry and the money that it spends lobbying Congress, and that the members of Congress are so incredibly complacent in their attitudes about it as they reach deeply into the deep pockets.
You know, I'm surprised we don't just take away all that single-payer universal health care from Congress, because clearly they're just not getting very good treatment, getting medevaced and massages and God knows what goes into it. You know, it just reminds me of Dick Cheney. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's so funny. Yes, I do. Well, there's your reality check. You can visit us anytime at GoHarrison.com. And be sure to join us on Facebook and Twitter, keyword GoHarrison.
Visit or email Harrison on the web at GoHarrison.com.